Hey everyone, it's me, the HerdMan, back at it again. And this is G's for Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. What's going on? How are you doing today? You know, I thought today I would do something a little different. Okay, I usually kind of have a script. I kind of have my topics all laid out. And today was one of those days where it was getting too hard to kind of come up with that stuff. So I thought that today I would do a little freestyling. Now, not talking to beatboxing kind, although that'd be pretty cool if I could actually do that. But I figured I'd give you my unfiltered review of the PlayStation 5 after having it for 6 months now. So, just a little background here. As some of you know that have been on Twitch before, I've told this story, but for those that are new, I'll kind of give you the whole rehash of how I actually obtained my PlayStation 5. So, as we know, PlayStation 5 is something that has been nearly impossible for people to get a hold of. I mean, they've been, when it first started with those pre-orders on Best Buy and Walmart and Amazon, it was a complete joke. I mean, especially with those assholes with those robots that were just picking up the PlayStations and then just selling them online on eBay for like 3 times the price. It was a disgrace. And I was even one of those people who got onto Best Buy one night when they had it, and I got as far as the cart, and I started to go to checkout, and it just hung, and it didn't stop. It just kept on going in that little damn circle. And I stood there, I shit you not, I was for 45 minutes, I just stared at that circle, just hoping upon hope that I was actually going to be able to get it. And of course, it didn't happen. Next day news, everyone was super pissed. I was really much like, this isn't going to happen. I'm going to have to wait just like everyone else. This really sucks. So, a couple days later from that happening, I get an email from Sony. And it's an invitation to pre-order a PS5. First of all, I had to do some researching to make sure this thing wasn't complete bogus and I wasn't getting ripped off. But in it was a link that said here at this particular time, click on this link and they'll put you in a queue. So, come, a couple days later after that, it gets to be, I think, I don't know if it was a morning or nighttime one, but I clicked on the link, and all of a sudden the queue came up and said, you're in the queue. You're waiting in line. You're about 5 more minutes, and we can get you set up with the pre-order. And I was, at first I didn't really believe it, but all of a sudden, time comes up, and poof, all of a sudden it gives me 2 options. Do I want the digital version or do I want the disc version? And the one thing I wanted for sure, I mean, I have PlayStation 4 and I do have games on disc, but with the PlayStation 4 I was really starting to purchase more games that were digital. To me, it just seems like that's the route that we're all going to be going. Disc does not seem to be a format that is going to be lasting very much longer. So I said, hell yeah, I want to get the discless version. Let's just go all digital with the PS5. So I went ahead and clicked on that, put in my order, gave them my credit card, and boom, all of a sudden it said I had a PlayStation on the way in November. I could not believe it. I was thrilled. And again, I cannot thank Sony enough for giving me the opportunity. It was awesome because I know that there's some people that have been waiting forever still. It's been 6 months for me using it, but there's still been about 6 months, 7 months for people who have been trying really hard to get one. So that's my backstory of actually getting the PS5. So come November, I get this awesome package in the mail, open it up, and there's this beautiful box. It's not as beautiful as the Xbox. I mean, I saw what the Xbox Series X looked like with opening. I do have to give Xbox credit. Their packaging, I was jealous of that. That was really slick how they did everything, how it opened up, how it had a little message here. It was really well done by Xbox. And PlayStation came up, and I'm just excited because it was a new PlayStation 5. So I opened it up. I didn't give a shit about the box at the time. And I plug it in downstairs, and I got a little ahead of myself. I crisscrossed some HDMI cables, plugged in the wrong one, and completely, I turned on the PS5, and I see nothing. It's just black screen. So I'm just freaking out. I'm thinking, oh shit, it's my HDR, it's something else. So as I'm fumbling, I finally get it to turn on, and I missed the initial introduction. I guess when you get your PS5 and you turn on for the first time, it just does this magical introduction, and it only happens once. So unfortunately, I didn't get to witness that. Honestly, I didn't care. I got on there. First thing I see is the welcome screen. I got my account set up. Boom, I'm good to go. So from there, I kind of want to go into what my experience has been like for those past 6 months. Also kind of reviewing, what I think about the PS5 in itself. We're going to talk about the hardware, peripherals, talk about the games, things like that. So let's start with the hardware itself. I mean, the power that the PS5 has is silly. It's just the load times for games was just it's unbelievable. To play Spider-Man Miles Morales was fun because it was like the wait time was literally seconds, and boom, you're into the next part. Boom, you're in the next part. I got through that game so quickly. It probably took me as much time as it took me to get through Miles Morales was probably the total combined wait time that I had on the PS4 version of Spider-Man. Again, great game for Spider-Man, and Miles Morales was basically a duplicate, pretty much. I mean, we gotta admit it was pretty much a carbon copy of Spider-Man, but it was a great kickoff to show you the power that the PS5 had. The speed it was going to take, the graphics, everything about it, the movements. It was a great way to start and get into a PS5. But it all comes down to that hardware. And PlayStation, Sony knew exactly what they were doing. They got I think they got a proprietary CPU in there. The fan system is really slick, where you can easily remove the sides and clean off your fans if needed. And let's see, what else can I say about it? Oh, the big feature was with the SSD drive. Having that, it makes all the difference. And I did not. I installed a new hard drive into my PS4. I did not use an SSD on there, but as cool it is, I mean, the SSD works lightning fast on the PS5. And they do have an expansion slot so that you can add more hard drive disk on there, or hard disk drive on there, and which is great. However, Sony has still not released or actually opened that up, which that's kind of pissing me off. I think it's pissing off a lot of people because, you get your terabyte of storage and it fills up pretty quickly with the size of these games, especially if you have the digital version. You want that expansion. I did go ahead and actually purchase an external SSD, and I have it plugged into the back of the PS5. I use that to download all my PS4 games, and I play them off of that, and that works seamlessly. It works great, and the games run really smooth. They run really fast. They load really fast. So I'll give, again, hardware-wise, PlayStation and Sony knew what they were doing with PlayStation 5. So the look itself, I mean, when you first saw the images of the PlayStation 5, everyone was laughing because they're like, it looks like a fucking router. Pardon my language, but it looked like a fucking router. And, people are even taking like notebooks, putting them in between I forgot what the middle part, just a black book or something like that. Man, this sucker is huge. I mean, everyone thought the PS4 when it came out was huge. This thing is massive. However, at least they went about it in a way to not make it a complete eyesore when you're looking at it. The design itself, with the sides kind of fanning out, and you got that white finish, then you got kind of the nice glossy finish on the actual black part, makes it look really nice. I have it sitting upright. You can actually put it upright or on its side. I have it standing upright on one of my bookshelves, and it looks really good. I mean, it actually looks like it's part of of my office. So I've been very happy with the way it looks. I have not wanted to hide it for any reason. And again, just the ability for them to take the stand and make it compatible to do both sideways and upright was a great idea. So kudos to Sony on doing that. The inside, when I say the inside, I mean like the interface. The home screen, it took a little bit of getting used to. It was a little off. I'm still trying to get used to it. I still think it's a little messy. Not very well organized. I think they're trying to throw too much at you still. They haven't really done an update in the last 6 months on it a whole lot. But I think they still need to work on that. If they're going to upgrade something on the interface, I mean, they need to revamp that entire home screen. So otherwise, the ability to pause your games, to move on to other games, great stuff. I love that you can do that. And that's all I gotta say about the looks here. As for those peripherals, I got the remote control. I have not needed to use it because I have a Roku. I have other streaming devices that I use outside of this. I don't know why I purchased the remote control. I think I did it just out of fanboyism or something like that. That I said, I gotta have everything. So I haven't used it. The camera, I have not used. I have a separate web camera that I use for all my streaming. I stream off of OBS. There's actually been no need for me to use it. I've tried to use the HD web camera. It's not HD. They just use that name. It really pisses me off when they start using like HD camera because the quality of the image looks like crap, and I wouldn't recommend it. Even if you're doing budget streaming, just don't even show your face. I mean, the whole point of that camera is kind of silly. They really need to step up their game and make if you're going to go that route, do a high quality camera. There's no reason to go other ways. But then comes the big thing, and that's the controller itself. The controller was freaking awesome. I mean, this new DualShock controller, DualSense, I think it is now. It's just awesome. It's much bigger. It took a little bit to get used to, but the feel of it now, I mean, when I hold the old DualShock, it really feels small and really kind of brittle. This is really well made. It's a little heavier, so it's got some stock in it. And, as much as it, I don't want to sound like a cliche, those haptic triggers are actually pretty good. I at first disabled the haptic triggers, and for those people who aren't aware, haptic triggers are basically they're providing resistance as you're pulling on them, or as you're pulling the trigger, to give it more of a real sense. So if you're pulling a gun in a game and you're starting to pull back that trigger, it's going to give you some resistance until all of a sudden that bullet shoots and then it kind of lets up, which is awesome. It's really cool, and I've used that to my advantage on Call of Duty, on Fortnite. You start getting a sense of, okay, how good is this gun? How is this going to work? What do I need to do? And it's actually a really cool feature. I wasn't really sure at first how that was going to work, but I've been very impressed with it. The touchpad has been completely useless. There's been nothing I've used for the touchpad other than the Astro game that came with the PS5. The D-pad's been fine. I've been using that for Mortal Kombat. The analog sticks are just the same. I do like the microphone feature and the speaker feature on there, especially if you don't want to plug into your headphones and you're talking to people. The mute button is also a really nice feature that you can just mute not only yourself but everyone else that's talking on there. So, I mean, they really outdid themselves when they were coming up with the PS5 with this controller. They could have gone Xbox route and just said, here's our same damn controller. They didn't. They went above and beyond with that, and I am very happy with the new haptic controller and the DualSense controller that they got. So let's talk. The last thing I want to talk about is games here, and this is where PlayStation is falling short. When it first came out, you had Miles Morales. Everyone was just excited about that. Again, though, it's a rehash of an existing game, just better graphics and quicker load time. But then you had, Call of Duty. Oh, great. But again, PS4, so it's just, okay, it's better graphics, better load time. There's not really been a game changer in regards to the actual games coming out. There's been no IP that has stood out that said, here, this is PS5, this is why you want to get the PS5. And I think that's why a lot of people now are starting to hold back, because there's nothing that's really showcasing to say, hey, this is why you should get the PS5. I mean, what I would say is that if you're going to get the PS5, get it because of the load times. Get it because of the DualSense. I mean, you'll be playing the same games that you could play on PS4. In fact, I purchased games on my PS4, and then I just downloaded them on my PS5. I got MLB The Show 21 on PS4. The only thing I regret about that is that the build your own ballpark feature is only for PS5, which I think is a really shitty thing for them to do. I wish they would have included both of those on both the PS4 and PS5, but that was their choice. And the other thing with the games too, I mean, a lot of the games are doing free upgrades from PS4 to PS5. That's just, which is great. But now, developers are starting to be smart. They're starting to charge you for both versions. If you have the PS4 version, they're expecting you to purchase the PS5 version if you have a PS5. I think if you're a customer of Sony, you should get both of them. And I just think that's how Sony should contract that with those developers. There's no reason to kind of hold us hostage and force us to have to purchase 2 different versions, because most of us are going to be using our PS4 for another 3 or 4 years. It's a well-built piece of hardware, and it's going to last really, really long. So that's, the games are, I'm really hoping, they did the Crash Bandicoot, or the Ratchet and Clank preview last week, which is great, but still, it's just not eye-popping. I mean, they're talking about doing the PSVR. It's a lot of potential there. I think that's going to be a game changer when that comes out. But overall, Sony, PlayStation, you guys got to step up your game. You got to start getting some more games in here that are going to make us want to go ahead and purchase it. So come E3, you better, I know you're doing your own thing. Blow my socks off, man. I want to come this December. I want to be giving you my money, saying, here, take it. I want to play these games. Take it, please. Take it. And that's what they have to do. And if not, I'm not going to complain. It's still a great console. I'm still very glad after 6 months that I got it. I love it. I mean, I play it pretty much every night. The controllers are great. I've been happy with the load times. If you still want to get one, go out there and try. You got to try and get one. Don't fall for those people who are trying to oversell them. Get in there, do the work, try to get one for you. I wish you all the best of luck, because if you want one, you won't be disappointed. The games will eventually come, but the experience of having one and what it can do for you and the potential is very exciting. So this is really, again, this is my freestyle, as I call it, take on, the PlayStation 5 and kind of my review after 6 months of how everything's going. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably do these more in the future as well. It allows me to just keep on rambling. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. So you can catch me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch, and also look me up on TikTok and Twitter as well. Just search HerdMan22. Be sure to tell your friends about the podcast, and remember to give us a like. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to me, The Real HerdMan, at TheRealHerdMan@gmail.com. I'm doing my best to release daily, folks. Like I said, tomorrow we'll see what I can do. But again, it gets a little harder each week based on what's coming out, also with life in general. So I will try to keep this streak going. I know you're enjoying it. Again, thank you for your support. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. I am out of here.